On Sunday, tens of thousands of Jews gathered in New York for the No Hate, No Fear rally, which was a demonstration that we are not going to tolerate the anti-Semitism that has increased in the recent months in our country, and Jews and non-Jews alike marched across the Brooklyn Bridge to take a strong stance. Sometimes this is the only way to break a cycle of hatred and fear. For Jews who have been the victim of hatred and who have been made to be fearful, we don't want this to happen again in another context in America, in another generation. And so we stood up strong, locking arms with others. But there is another alternative path to breaking that cycle of hatred and fear that we learn about at the very end of Sefer Bereshit that we conclude this upcoming Shabbat. At the end of Parshat VaYechi, we read about the response of Yosef to his brothers after his father Yaakov passes away. The brothers are stricken with panic, afraid that Yosef will take revenge upon them for the evil that they committed against him many decades ago. Without the patriarch in the family, the keeper of the peace, the brothers were afraid that Yosef would take this time and this opportunity to get back at them. And so they seem to make up, or maybe we don't know that the conversation happened, promise that they say their father had made to them before he passed away, that they should request of Yosef to forgive them. Yosef's response to this speaks volumes. First, he cries, which Rav Lichtenstein explains shows the limits of power imbalance within a family dynamic, that it's very hard to overcome when there is a power dynamic between brothers to fully embrace one another with love when there are other suspicions and other motives going on because of the positions and the politics involved. Putting that aside for a moment, the way that Yosef responds to his brothers is Vayidabru Alehem, that he speaks to them al libam. He speaks to their hearts. And Vayenachem otam, they were comforted because he spoke to their hearts. He spoke softly, he spoke quietly, he spoke gently. And that totally erased their fear of him. This was quite an accomplishment considering the fact that their relationship had been full of hate and fear from the very beginning. When Yosef first flaunted his dreams in front of his brothers many decades earlier, the response, naturally so, of his brothers was Vayosifu od sino oto. Their hatred of him just increased. Their jealousy of him was made to be even greater. They didn't like this little brat of a brother who was telling them that they would be subservient to him. Of course, it came true, but at the moment, it just felt like they were being made fun of and belittled. And so that hatred causes violence in the form of putting Yosef in a pit to die. And then, years later, after the revelation of Ani Yosef, the brothers, Vayivhalu, they are petrified, they are fearful for their lives that Yosef is going to take retribution. And then again, that fear resurfaces after Yaakov passes away in our Parsha, and they are panicked again for their lives out of fear for what their brother might do. This ongoing cycle of hatred and fear was only put to rest. It was only mitigated through Yosef's Vayidaber al libam, that he spoke to them calmly, caringly, softly. And that is what caused Vayenachem otam. That's what brought them solace and comfort, trust, rehabilitation and healing from the fracture and the trauma of their past. And so as we think about this moment in American Jewish history, and we think about today specifically on Asara B'Tevet, a day in which the Jewish people were victims to the hatred and the violence of the Babylonians when they besieged the city of Yerushalayim, which was the beginning of the destruction of the temple, we should think about our own role in trying to combat and stop the cycles of hatred and violence and fear within our midst. And that comes through the way that we speak and the way that we talk. So we should all take this lesson to heart on this fast day, so that the fast day is not just a time that is squandered wondering or anticipating when can we break the fast, but it's a day that's used for personal growth, and we should merit that the day of Asara B'Tevet and this time in American Jewish history should be made to a time of nechama, of comfort and peace. See you in Shul.